Hello, it's Jesse with ZBH Tech, and today I'm finally back. I've had a few weeks off, lots of things going on in the personal life, at work, so I'm back with you today, and I want to share with you some tips and how-tos on how to monitor your network and how to keep an eye on your usage. And having this information is very helpful. So let's dive into this, show you what I'm using, how I'm using it, and hopefully it helps you out. If you do find this content useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. And with that, let's get to it. Alright, so I have made some other videos about TP-Link routers, some of the problems that they have, could potentially have, some other devices as well. And so I've made a recommendation. I'm using a purple firewall, and I want to talk about that today. And the reason I want to talk about that is in order to properly monitor your network, especially at home, you need to have a device that supports it and gives you the information. So a lot of the consumer-based routers on the market today, they might allow a little bit of monitoring, but they don't really give you the information, which is power, that you need to keep your network safe and secure. So number one, the most important thing is you need to have a piece of hardware that allows you or that collects the data that you need so that you can analyze it and look at it. So that's right off the bat. Number one, you got to have a firewall that does it. Now the firewall, purple, there's other ones as well, but the purple SE, and all the ones above that, the gold, the Pro, there's 5 models. They all support this same functionality and features. So number one, I just want to talk about that the device is important. Now there's other routes you could take. There's other routers that do support some monitoring. I've just not found anything quite as good as what Firewall offers. And so why would you want to monitor your data? So I want to go through a few things. So number one is that it just allows you to control your data usage. Why would you want to do that? So a lot of ISPs will control how much data you're allowed to use in a month. So really, I guess number one, I already said number one with this, but the first one really is you have an ISP that limits your connection, and then they slow you down. Okay, so you're going to want to be able to monitor that. So with the firewall, and I'm going to do a demo on this after I go through my list here, is the ability to keep track monthly of what your limit is, and it'll let you go back and reset. It automatically resets that for the first day of your new billing cycle. So that's all configurable, and then it keeps track of your upload, your download. It mixes it puts it all up into one total, and then it breaks them apart so that you can see. And so then the next reason why would you want is because if you're on a limited or a metered connection, let's say you're an RV or you're a digital nomad, you're somebody who's out and about a lot, you may have a hotspot or a limited connection that is going to charge you overages. And so you're going to want to be able to keep an eye on that so that you don't go over your limit. The firewall keeps, like I said, it's configurable for that, and it allows you to be notified if you hit your limit. So that would be number two, really, is to help you with overage charges. All right, and the next one is information about your devices. So what I've done is I have configured my firewall and my devices rather in groups. So I have like an IoT group, a server group, a personal device group, mobile device group, security device group, and I've put, excuse me, all of the devices with those respective groups in that group so that I can keep an eye on what that group is using, and then I can also go right down to the device level. So the firewall will let you do an overall. Here's how much you've used overall. Here's how much the group has used. Here's how much individual devices have used. And so it gives you the information, and it shows you a chart of, I believe, 60 minutes, 24 hours, and 30 days. I'll have to confirm, make sure I've got those numbers right, but we'll look at that in the demo. And I'll let you look and see what that usage is with a graph and everything. So that is really helpful, is to know, hey, do I have a device? So security plays into this, and that's kind of what one of the main points of this is knowing what your devices are using, because once you have an idea of what they're using, then if something is out of the ordinary, then you can go looking for it and you can find, hey, I got a rogue device here. So why might that be important? Well, you could have a breach in your network. You could have something that is gone rogue and is just sending out all kinds of information that you don't know about. And this actually, the firewall lets you look at where these devices are contacting, what they're sending, what's coming, both directions. So having that information is going to be really helpful. Also, knowing if you have a device that is just blowing up your connection. You know, maybe you have an Xbox, you have a PlayStation. Your kids are downloading large files. These games are really, really big. Maybe you're running some kind of a server. Something is happening and it is causing your limit or your usage to go really high. And so having this information is going to really help you out in the security front and just the basic management of your network. So with that, I just want to talk about 3 things that I did that helped my help me. Let me just get my list back up here. Is number 1, I want to go over how to set this up from the app. Okay, and number 2, I want to talk about groups really quick and just want to show you that and putting devices in a group, and then you can monitor that group. And then the last thing is just how to check on those devices, how to check on those groups, and just the basic configuration of how this works. And so hopefully this video helps you out. Let's jump over to my demo where I'll show you how to quickly set this up and get you off and running, and hopefully it helps you out as much as it has me. So let's jump over. All right, so I'm here with the Firewall app opened up, and I'm actually running this on my Mac, but it's the exact same as the app on the phone. So let's go ahead and just show you, number 1, where this is on the main screen, where you can just kind of see a quick overview of what's going on with your bandwidth. And then let's dive into it and kind of show you what I've done and what I've set up. So number 1, this is what you'll see on this graph right here. And it's set to 30 days right now. So you can change this. You can go over to 24 hours and then the last 60 minutes. So I was accurate on my first statement. 60 minutes, 24 hours, 30 days. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to make sure you have this set up. So let's go over to the gear here, or the settings, and let's go into features. Okay, once we click on features, we're going to see all the features that the firewall has to offer. We're interested in data usage. Now, if you have this turned off or you haven't enabled this, it will be down here under the disabled section. So you just need to click it and turn it on, and then it will move it up here to where your enabled services are. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that, and it's going to bring up and show me some information. So I've been collecting information, and you can see my usage is pretty high. I have a lot of kids, so they do a lot of streaming, and that's one of the things that I went researching is where's all this going, and most of it is streaming services. Anyhow, so I turned on my monthly plan here, this little toggle. I put in 2 terabytes. I don't really have a limit on my connection, but I figured 2 was good. So you may want to get an idea of how much you're using, and then you can adjust this later, and then especially if you have a hard limit, you're going to want to set that here. So if you click there, it's going to just ask you to put in, whether it's terabyte, gigabyte, whatever it is, and put in the figure there, or the amount. Okay, so that's what I did, and then on the 26th of every month is when my billing resets. So that's the date that it starts over. So it always will start counting on the appropriate day so that I can keep track. Whatever your day is, you'd want to put that in there. And then for my alarm settings, I don't want it to start alerting me because I don't have an overage charge. I don't have a throttle limit, but I didn't want to be alerted because I'm in here all the time anyway. But if you click on it, you can have it send you alarm only, or you can have it send both an alarm and a notification. Okay? So you can pick which one you want there, or mute. And I did mute because I just didn't want the alerts, because towards the end of the month I do hit that 2 terabytes. And then down here at the bottom, it just shows where you're at currently, how many days you have left, and then how much you have remaining. So out of my 2 terabytes, I've used 563 gig. I have a 1.4 terabytes left. Okay, so that once you have that turned on and you have these values set, then you're good to go. So let's hop back out over to the main screen. Just going to click back in here, and we come here. So on your phone, you could just, touch the screen here, click here, and it should open up and it should show you what you have going on. So there is a total live throughput as well, which is part of this. So what is actually happening at this exact minute? And it will tell you which devices are using how much data, and it will sort those by usage. So the highest usage at the top, the lowest usage at the bottom. You can pause it if you want it to pause so that you can see, hey, there's a problem. It won't start flipping these out of order, not out of order, but change the order so that maybe you want to capture something in time. Click pause. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that live throughput, which is part of this usage. So let's go back. And then from here, you would want to start selecting, because we can see our overall. We can see how much data we've used overall. So that kind of handles this at the 30,000 foot level mark. So let's drill down into a group. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to go into my group section, and I'm going to look and see. So right now, my Wi-Fi APs, this is the most recent thing that I have looked at. So I'm going to click, and it's going to show me my devices. Okay. So if I wanted to create a new group, let me just show you how to do that real quick. All right, so to create a new group, you're going to want to go into devices. Okay. And under devices, you have this create group option here. Now, make sure you're not on networks. Make sure you're on groups. You can hit create group. You can give this a name. So I'm just going to call it test group. And then you click add device. Once you click add device, it's going to let you go through and pick your devices and put them in whichever group you would like to put them in. So you just check, whatever you want to put in that group, and then you hit done. Now it's telling me 5 of these devices are already in another group. So the devices will follow the rules. If you have any rules, it will apply to the new group. So it's warning you that you're trying to move groups. So I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to really move the groups. But you would hit done, and then it's nice that it warns you, hey, these are already in another group. So I'm going to hit cancel in this, and I'm going to hit cancel again. So I've got all these groups set up. So I have some Echo devices. I got a laptop. I got some IoT, server, quarantine. These are my groups. Now, depending on the makeup of your network and how the devices you have, it will make sense for you to put them in the appropriate group. Once you have things in a group, you can go ahead, let's just go ahead to my IoT devices, and let's go ahead and click on them, okay? Now I can see I have 81, sorry, it's a lot, have 81 devices in my IoT device group. This is about blocked flows. We're going to talk about that today. Down here, though, I see my throughput. So if I go into the last 24 hours, I can get an idea through a graph. So over here is the amount of usage, okay? And this from this direction is time, right? So we started, let me get closer to the screen. We've got 3 p.m., 10 p.m., 6 a.m., 2 p.m. So it's flowing through and showing me the usage of, and I believe that the red is upload and the blue is download. And so then it gives me a total here. Oops, sorry, I tried to highlight that. You can see that it breaks them apart by upload, download, and also total usage, right? So let's say, okay, now I see that, over 60 minutes, it's very low usage. These IoT devices aren't really sending and receiving a whole lot in a large amount of data. They send data all the time, but it's small amounts. Okay, so if I come over here and I click on devices, now I can see all the names of the devices that are part of that group. And if I click on one, and it will show me the current usage up and down, right? So I'm going to click on one of these, and I believe this is, can't remember which one this device, I think it's a smart bed device. Anyhow, and I can see what the current usage is on that. And it's going to give me, again, the same thing, 60 minutes, 24 hours, and it's giving me the appropriate numbers based off of the group, right? upload, download, of the device, not the group. So I've drilled down from a group level to a device level. And if I go over one more, then I can see the last 30 days. It doesn't go beyond 30 days, unfortunately, but you do have all the way up to 30 days. Now, if I click on this, it is going to show me, whoops, sorry. There we go. To get to the right section, it will show me the flows for what it's communicating with. So let's go back and look. Okay. So I've got, if I clicked on the red, that is my upload. So these are going to all be external servers or connections that this device is making. Most of these you can see are NTP. What is NTP? That's time. NTP servers are time. Also, you're going to see some Amazon. Again, yes, Sleep Number, that it's my smart bed. So I can see what it's communicating with, and I can go through and I can do a search. I can see only the view blocked, download, upload. So I can change all of these and put on some filters if I want to try to narrow down. Now, if I click on one of these, then it's going to give me even more information about what device this was, what the IP address was internally, which port it was connecting to, and how it was reaching out externally, and what that device is. You can see it gives an explanation of what the protocol, or the port, was, the port, and then the protocol is NTP, the location. Like, there's a lot of information here, which is really good when you start troubleshooting, or you start looking at, okay, why is this talking to servers in China? Or why is this talking to servers in Europe or the US or wherever you may be? Okay, so not only can you drill down through the usage, but you can get granular on what it's talking to, when it's talking to it, and which ports it is using to talk to or with, which is really helpful. So let's go back, and let's go back again, and we can pick a different device. So if we scroll down the list here, I'm going to just click on this random device. Again, it's going to show me the usage for this device. Last 24 hours, it's hardly talked. 3 meg up, 3 meg down in the last 30 days. It's just not a lot, like 6.7 meg. So it is talking. And again, I can click on this and it will give me a list of devices it's talking to and devices that are talking to it. So outbound, inbound, it does both. So yeah, that's really it. So now I can come back. I can see I have all these devices. Now at the bottom I have ungrouped devices. I have devices I haven't placed in a group. If I go back even further, it puts me back to the main screen. And if I just click on devices again, it puts me back where I was. And I can go and I can do a search for a device. If I have a MAC address, if I have a name, if I have an IP address, I can type that in and it will pull up the device. And the nice thing too is there's a label over here on the side. So as I scroll down through these devices, it will tell me if they're part of a group. If there's nothing listed, then you're not going to see anything there, right? Because it's not part of a group. So again, this is just information, power for you to use to help you figure out how much data you're using, how much data your groups are using, how much data your devices are using, and also what they're talking to and who are talking to it. Now, it's not going to give you information based off of local to local traffic, right? Because in order for it to be monitored, it has to leave the network or come into the external part of your network or the internet. Devices inside, you'd need a whole different monitoring solution because that data is not traversing the firewall, right? It's not going beyond the firewall. So this is only traffic leaving your network or coming back into your network through the internet or through the untrusted part of your firewall. So again, hopefully this is helpful for you. This has been greatly helpful for me. Like, I didn't even know what my usage was other than what my internet service provider was telling me. And I have matched this up and it's within like 20 gig, 30 gig. It's pretty close. Considering I'm using over 2 terabytes worth of storage. Keep that in mind. So it's not going to be 100% accurate. So you still will want to match that up with your ISP to just see if there's a variance there for you. but for me, it's pretty close considering how much I'm using. So anyway, if this was helpful for you, please like this video and subscribe. I want to do other videos related to the Firewalla features and services, because this is just like one of the first ones, monitoring and how that can help you. And they do have some other features that I'll be diving into later. So thank you, have a good one, and be safe.